Good evening, Tanya. I want to greet you all that have come through right now and all over South Africa in the diaspora. I will plead with each and every one of us to invite, as we're going to invite our neighbors, our friends, our loved ones, and invite everybody. Let's invite across the social media. I'm actually on a state where it says, what do you have in mind? And when I look at what we have, we have in Kairos TV that mostly can operate and reach out the people when the mainstream media closes and opens only for the major, the mighty parties. The mighty Goliath. We're standing with our Davidic stature in order to make an assurance that we are not heard because of being megalomaniac, but we are heard based on our policies. And I believe the time is come and the time is now to see change, especially in our nation. So I'm coming all the way in the capital city talking to you all, and I believe those in the Western Cape, also in the legislature city, would be able to catch the message tonight. Welcome you all, and everybody that is here right now. Let us, wherever you are catching us from, whether from the Facebooks, whether you're the YouTube, my plea to all of you is to invite your friends, invite people who want to understand who the government of ECOFORUM is. It's important that we vote with our hearts, especially now. Why is it important as a South African to vote with your heart and to vote for your stewards, your leaders that would be able to take us forward? Now, the message we have tonight, the message directive, and is a message which actually goes to heart. It's a message for every South African. I want to welcome you once more. Welcome and welcome you all wherever you are tuning from. Just just talk to your neighbors. Tell them the president is here. Tell them that the apostle is here. Tell them how you know me. Say he's here to talk to us. Now, as I said, we're going back to the time a question was imposed, what is in hand? And I replied and said, I have knowledge and I have a platform where we can reach to the people. And we are trusting God in the next 7 days to reach out to 1 million people. Whether we reach you in one by one, we are going to do it because we know it's not impossible with God. Now, this is what I want to bring before you so that as a disclaimer, you understand our stance, moreover, as a kingdom political movement, and understand the struggles that we might actually face pertaining the red tapes that comes in terms of media and most other things. Now, we thought with what we have, we want to reach out to all of you. Now I am so blessed and I cannot even begin to express my sincere appreciation, meaning to all the confidence all over South Africa and all the confidence diaspora. Those in South Africa, those in Namibia, those in Zimbabwe, those in Zambia, and all the confidante that are out there that actually now stand behind the over, I would say, a narrative that is of the people, and narrative that speaks life to humanity. And we have arrived in a season and in a time, in a century where politics are turning around. Politics are no longer for the liberation of the people, but politics are to dictate and for autocracy and to control, in the social milieu of mankind. And now right there, where even when we go into the polls, or meaning onto the polls to vote, we would muchly be voting whether it's going to be as simple as whether, or we are voting a God who's the creator of humankind. I want to be playing with you. We're going to talk very hard today, and we are going to silence things that are coming out. We are going to silence the noise that we hear now. There's great noise, I can tell you, on the telecast, and we are hearing all sorts of good things that political parties are finding. They have a prerogative to do that, but now there are so many elements of pride and elements of elements of communism, elements of socialism. There are so many elements of these systems that muchly speaks against the community, speaks against humankind. Now, there are a couple of characters in terms of leadership that I'm going to outline and talk and openly talk to the nation and talk to those that are actually watching right now. And with such kinds of behavioral that we see actually now, I mean, raising its herd in our time, especially in our season of leadership. These are the times for us, modesty, and through modest and through humility, and moreover, as honest people coming before the people of meaning of God. Now this will bring later in terms of characters that have the tendency of demising, even though which is called so-called small party or new kid on the block. I've heard of all those names. Even I mean, a couple of years ago when we went for the national elections, and now everyone is excited to call you small. But I want to give it to South Africa tonight to say it would not come from the great gigantic party, or it might not even come from a Goliath, but it might come from a David. It might come from that little person that is meaning over in Hammaskral, or that little person that is in a rural area. Remember, Mandela, Madiba, and the other leaders never came from the town, or from the urban or suburban. They came from cities which I believe that you wouldn't even think of. Now Jesus came from out of Bethlehem, and now there's a discrimination, and it actually raises its herd in order to demise the voice of those that are coming out in the wilderness to fight for the people of God, to fight humanity. People will be standing out and speaking the truth, because one of the things that we need to actually now begin to rally on is to stand for the truth. I want to tell you, if you don't stand for the truth in the season, most people are going to lose much, and moreover, even ultimately lose their lives. There are so many things that needs to be extrapolated. We need to break them in peace, and so that we can bring understanding. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to speak to you as a leader, and however you me, I'm standing on behalf of the government of ECOFORUM, and with an intention, moreover, committed to serve humanity. And in this election, and let me say this, there's no other time to talk about these things if it's not this hour. And we need to talk about them, and directively so that we can show our proactiveness in taking up on the management of this country, and the leadership, if I could call it, in terms of governance of this nation. Now, wherever you are from, it is a blessing, and you're welcome to write, you're welcome to message, and some of you also, those who are carrying questions on what can it be, or what is our take on certain topics, or whether you want to know who are we in terms of policy formation, and you want to know those things. And now, little did you know that you will be asking the president, and we are asking you to be polite and ask in a very warm-hearted way, so that we can work together and to answer your questions, whether in regard to the development that we are talking about, and how we're going to go about. So we are asking you to come on board and begin to write, communicate from the desktop there. Let's communicate, and I believe the PR, they will do a great job to really give me on of every question that we ask. Definitely, so we are going to answer so that you can be moreover adamant and be at a domain or a place of what our intentions are. Now the question would be, why would we go the route of politics? Why would it be so that we go the route of politics and we are mentioning even God in the very politics? Because now we all knew that politics are being labeled game, rhetoric, and in its appealing. Someone can lie today, tomorrow come again and say, no, I did not say me 1,000. Someone can lie, at the very highest office and lie on the face of the people, seduce them, bring them to a place, as a leader, and people trust him, and can just lie and say, no, we're not going to vaccinate, and the next moment change their minds. And we call it politics because we fear them. We call it politics because they are mafias. We call it politics because of an element of mafiaism, contamination of souls and lives, and killing of each other. And it's been hailed as such in South Africa. And we are calling that politics. And I want to begin to revise the matter, because reiteration is one of the modalities that the government of ECOFORUM has actually upheld, to reiterate who we are and get to where we come from. And once we do that, because we're dealing with a 100-year-old, meaning we are dealing with a 100-year-old altar that requires meaning your attention, and get to understand where did the politics of this country go wrong, and where did the leadership of this country go weary and tarry from the liberation of the people. And now we no longer even slightly conservative, and we have moved from sectarianism, and now in that form, and to become something else. And unfortunately, to the ordinary South Africans who might not even know what's going on, they might find themselves in the. But as to us, it is over a bleeding of a heart when you know what you know, and you know exactly what's happening. And unfortunately, those who have voters, they don't have a clue. They are being more overtaken on in seduction in regard to they are given your grants, your grants, they're given all sorts, and which comes with clause, which I believe that some of the clause are deadly, some of the clause are there just to capture our people, our young people, to be more found wondering and now looking around whether they're going to make it or not. And now I have great news for you. Great news that is beyond just a child grant. I have great news that is beyond just a grant for social relief. I have great news that is much even greater than whatever the government can lure you in, and in order to capture you so that you can't even make your own decisions, because you are being bound and other close, and unknowingly so you are being deceived by your own government in order to whether you lose the what you call the load shedding and the blackouts, as they call it in the States, And when it happens, it's okay. If it cuts me off like that, it's fine. That is the result of the government that we have. Now, what is going to happen here? If it happens that we break away and there are no lights, that's the government that we are in. That's the result of the 27-year-old government that is in administration. Now, let me just run to this, and so that we bring understanding. Now, local government elections are highly the most important, I would say, elections ever. Local government elections are so vital and so important that we cannot afford not to partake on it. Whether you felt I'm in church, whether you felt I'm a bishop, I'm a pastor, I'm a prophet, maybe this is not for us. Let me and actually rectify the amiss that has taken place in the church. Remember, there was no other thing. God has never established governments in what you call institutional governments that we have today. There were no governments institutionally. Hence, even when I talk politics, I said politics in a form where they become barbaric and they become so diabolic and become so illicit and become so satanic. No, politics were not so. Politics regions are in polity in terms of the formation of the government of the kingdom with its kings, or a kingdom that is moreover before God. Now we have today governments that regards not God. They regard not the Almighty God, and they are fighting with all they have to sail the people into a secular world. Now, meaning that they know about God, but the same God will be taken out of your parliament, out of your schools, out of your department or sectoral departmental determination. So now the God who's the creator is now being taken out. Then you must know that our politics are now being led arrogantly by mankind. And whether they come and promise whatever they will deliver, you need to know that there's something behind the promise, and there's something in the plan that you are not going to like. Unfortunately, some people are going to even lose their lives in the process. And the truth must be spoken forth. Now, in times where even the truth is not actually now desirable. When you have to speak the truth, you are being red tape, you are being, muted, and all of those things. And now, the reason why the government of ECOFORUM is so essential is because we are ready for whatsoever, and we are standing to declare, whether it takes 10 to 20, 30, 40 years, so shall it be, that the people of this country will definitely know, and they will vote with their hearts, and we shall have a leadership that will be a leadership for the people, leadership by the people. So now that's what we are looking at. So now that was, or is being, the formation of what politics are all about. But which is the local government elections, are very important. Now I need you to send to 10 people right now. Just touch few people. Now you can't be watching alone. Come on. And at this given time, you cannot. It's exclusive. This is an exclusive talk. I need you to invite 3, 4, 5, 10 people. Your friends, your families. Tell them the president of here, and we are using what we have in our hand. We don't want to wait for other mainstream media. As all the time I am educating to say, there is a propagandized media that doesn't have an interest to hear what we are talking about. Now, whether we like it or not, they will not have the interest to hear. The nation of Nkosi Sikelel has lost its essence and its respect, and they've lost the Ubuntu. So now they were going to go about communism and socialism. You'll find the only three parties are there. The parties that are fronting, and we know, I mean, we have heard for the past 5 years, what you only hear is corruption. Now, in the last months of the elections, then what you hear is the greatness, the colors, the t-shirts. You see all of those kind of things being done. You know, the appearance, people are being molded as if when they appear more TV, they deserve the votes. Now, I want to say to you now, and I'm going to be frank with you and say it as it is. Anyone who votes for DA in the season, it's your own baby. It's your own responsibility. No one will force you not to, but anyone who votes DA, that's arrogance. Oh my God. Such an arrogant leader that is able to tell the nation not to vote for small parties. They are a big party. They are a concoction of apartheid and those who call themselves the liberals or the Democrats. We don't have any clue that the same people are the concoction of the apartheid regime. Now, at any time they showcase in how they actually now treat them, in how they actually now put forth a white face rather than a leadership that is capable. Now look at the leader that is present. He's swearing at people. He's swearing at everybody. And he's calling it politics. Now I want to diminish and I want to suspend National Party, the John Steyn National Party. I want to now nullify the John National Party Steinhazen in everybody in Swan. I'm going to speak as an apostle right now. Everyone in Swan, if you are born in spirit, you are counted as a believer. Anyone in Swan, and you vote DA. I am not saying who's going to vote for what. I am telling you about the evidence that there's no need to vote for the small party. So it means there's no need for democracy. We should just leave the three parties, the big parties, to run the country and run us into the wild, run us into the dish with their glitches and whatsoever. And now acting as hope because of the red tape of media and all. And we are tired and sick and tired of that kind of, a parade by the presidents, and they parading daily with t-shirts. I even came to a conclusion that in the next elections, I don't want us to talk about t-shirts. We are to wear our own suits and ties, wear our own skirts and get to the streets. Nobody's going to wait for a t-shirt. No one is going to wait for a board or a pamphlet. We're going to talk to the people directly. We are not going to wait for the SABC to talk or to bring us there for people to know about us. You need to be attentive to the voice and hear what time it is right now. So now, as I'm talking about this arrogance, I feel like now addressing the matter, because when the leader says you cannot vote for small parties, and as if it's a waste of time, then you understand now there is something that is in this thing that we might not know about, which they know that we don't know. There is a South Africa that is being led by especially these three parties: the ANC, the DA, and the EFF. Now, the three parties are running a South Africa that we all don't know. Now, I'm going to speak as a leader. At times, I even now hope for this mainstream to have debates. Let's have debates. Presidents be brought on a certain portal where we exhume the wisdom and the knowledge pertaining where we people. We bring that kind of a talk. No, we don't allow other presidents walk and move like they are greater than others, where they move on the high like they've got a solution for the nation of South Africa. And if that will be allowed, then democracy will not transition. And the transparency of the democratic dispensation would have been taken away. The liberals and every liberty would have been forsaken by the current administrators. And that should not be allowed in South Africa, where people feel they have the audacity to lead its people. Now, when we democratize a nation, if that is the case, from a theocratic dispensation of the apartheid government that used the name of God in defiling, they use the name of God. I can tell you theocratically, they've used the name of God through abomination, because through the same Bible that now people were put to where they are. Now the difference in terms of now the separation of races and ethnicities, the Bible was invoked by the leaders improperly. So we are rectifying the mistakes as the government of ECOFORUM, coming moreover with the canonicity, biblical principles. We are reiterating the issue that now for many years people hate the Bible because of the leadership that was there. Now this arrogance that we saw with the NP, the National Party, we still see today through a leader called John Steenhuisen National Party. Now he's bringing a dimension, I tell you, and I am talking to South Africans right now, even those who will be listening and those who will listen later, to say to you, we need to be in a position to remove that Steenhuisen and its DA in Tshwane, in Johannesburg. Remove them permanently. Dismantle their powers, whatever they thought they have as power over our people. You see, our people, black and white, we don't want to go back to the party era. It doesn't matter. Our people, black and white, we are not interested in moreover repeating history and muchly releasing a replica of what we saw happening there. We don't have the interest of such. So our interest now is to make the people of South Africa vote with their hearts, not their heads, their hearts, because they want you to vote with their heads, with your heads, because they are now playing a mind game. They are playing a football they call politics. And you see, they are even being applauded by people. I can tell you, it is an error, and this error that we see at its best need to be eradicated. There need to be an eruption. The government forum is the eruption of the nonsensical move that we see happening here. No one will reverse the corruption that has taken place in our country. No one can redeem the ANC. It's a waste of time. No one shall even begin to now say we hold on the EFF, the waste of time, because we need people who have the heart for the people. We don't want to hear you saying something today, tomorrow saying another thing. We don't mind with your character, whether you have missed it here and there. You are a person. You are a human being. We're not saying you are perfect. You'll never be perfect. But now we are saying we cannot hold on. Leaders say this thing today, tomorrow they say the other thing. No, no, no. The government of ECOFORUM, today we are declaring that South Africa must go back to God, not to the church. And we need to be heard accurately. Do not misinterpret us. We're not calling it to the church. We are not talking church. We have broken the walls of the church. We are talking, meaning you as South Africa going back to God. Now, I tell you now, we are not saying come to church. We are saying go back to God. And as a country or nation, it's important. Now, let me bring, as I'm dealing with these three gigantic parties that are throwing their colors everywhere and lying moreover again in many things to the people. They don't tell the people where COVID-19 originates. They can't even talk why they are pestering a mandatory of vaccine. They don't even talk why is it that they have actually now called upon and signed off the popes on the shores of South Africa. Our children are now bachovwa. Gani bachovwa gesanove. They can't tell why and who those things. Now all the hidden agendas will be eminent and revealed in no time. What I know about God is that people love liars. People can follow a liar because they are arrogant and they are popular and they are followed by many people. And I am so disappointed in how the church is also following such. I said, God, as we praying for the church, open the eyes of their understanding, enlighten the church of what time it is, to understand exactly what we are against. Politics have tended and changed from the 1900s, where politics were national and for the liberation of the people. Politics have changed to socialism and communism, and communism is being now fathered by the enemy. And if you don't know, you need to get to the understand. Communism and others are fathered by the enemy to control the social milieu of mankind, and you are not going to be deceived again. We are standing that may you be delivered, may you actually find over a report that will deliver you, your church, your children, your household, your city, because the Lord on you. You see, now I tell you that the joy that will come in our cities will only be there when stewards like yourself emerges and understand that you're loyalistic, or you're being loyal to the INC and being loyal to the movements will not assist in the end time. The politics of this country and the world have taken a skew, and now whether you are choosing the devil or you are choosing God, that's why you will see now in February there's going to be a platform of choice, and all the freedoms and liberties of choice will be taken away from the church. In February, there's great enforcement of a chip that will come about. Now, let me tell you, whether they delay it and do it much, it's okay, but it will be done. And now, certificate will serve a purpose that don't pass will not serve a purpose in the next 3-4 months. And now, an introduction of something that is come will be made. When I think about our people in the church, I weep and break, and my heart bleeds, because they are the same people who go to the polls and vote diabolic, illicit government. And now they are the ones who put a cross and give them power. Your loyalism is no subjectivity. You need to repent and begin to understand that the reason why these people are gigantic is because of your vote. Now, people ask and say, how does church connect with politics? Now, from the beginning of times, church has been actually politics, if you never knew. Now, church has been politics always. The politics of Genesis are the politics of the king and the kingdom. So now, him, the Lord, he made it quickly and easier to begin to now bring out a kingdom. Moreover, as we speak right now, a kingdom, and absolutely take away this kingdom from out of of him, God, so that it can be able to become a kingdom that will begin to prosper its people, a kingdom that is peaceful, a kingdom that is united. Now, you don't see unity whether we throw out some doves and so forth. We are not going to experience unity until the sons of God are come, until they realize the lies that have been spoken. Whether churches are open, we are not excited. We are not going to be controlled by anybody. in authority. Now, people talk about authority. Let me talk to you now, cocktailed. Now, when you talk authority of kingdoms and kings, and say we ought to remain in subjection, you don't understand until you become that it says they are having a prerogative, and they have, moreover, they have the duty to run a kingdom that is peaceful. And it says if they don't bring peace, if they don't bring prosperity, and they are actually infusing death, they are infusing confusion to the people. Now go back and read where it speaks authority of those, and it says subjection of those who are in authority. It doesn't say blindly. It says they have on authority. And now as the over abiding or law abiding citizens, we remain on it until such a time when revelation is greater than revolution and evolution. You can write it down in your hearts. Revelation in this end time will be greater than revolution and will be greater than evolution. No, you don't hear me. The voice of the Spirit will speak greater than the voice of Mandela, will speak greater than the voice of Sobukwe, will speak the voice of Kisani, will speak greater than the blood of Jesus will absolutely speak greater than the one of Abel and the one of Mandiba. The one will speak greater than the one in Sophia Town. That over the massacre in Sophia Town will speak greater than the massacre in Bopato, will speak greater than you see all the massacres that you've ever experienced. That through one blood, through his drops, that then unity and moreover prosperity shall be therefore in the nation of South Africa. Now let me take you back to what we were talking about a little earlier to say. Now we are sending strong money to all South Africans. Anybody who is a South African, black and white. I tell you, I did my investigation a little bit and I found arrogance in leadership. Now, when I found arrogance in elderly leadership in the ANC that said, because they have a right, they can talk about small parties, we also have a right that says we are the only party. I went like, oh God, what is this? We are the only party. I said, what are they talking about? We are the only party. I'm not sure that does what. They say we are the only party, and then they laughed about it. The only party that does, or the only party that kills each other. The only party that sacrifices its own soldiers. What party are you? We are the only party. When I heard that, I said, oh God, here we've got so much arrogance from elderly people who might go back to the boardroom and look at the amiss that is in the party and fix it for the people of South Africa. They go around throwing some rhetoric appealing words. They are being applauded by pastors are seated at front while people are talking nonsensical kind of. When you hear the president says people are talking nonsense, I said, what is this? Now, I want us to talk hard and I want us to identify things that will give you the sign of what we are up about. It's no longer about the ANC that we loved. It's no longer about the great ANC that was for the people, the national. It's not about that. There's something, there is a force, there's an external partner that has come in. There is a force that actually leads our leadership, and we need to dismantle that force even in the coming elections. We need to put the mark down and say enough is enough, and say Kinako is Katsakona. Now these are the times where our decisions must be directive and legislative. Even when you are a bishop, South Africa is not led by prayer. South Africa is not led by preaching. South Africa is not led by prophecy. South Africa is led by politicians. and unless we make peace with it, then we will be, moreover, cornered to a point that we might not be able to see change in the nation. So we'll be cornered, and we're going to see more. Our nation will diminish. And I tell you, most of you next year about this time, you'll be years, and you'll be coming about and said, we had the president of ECOFORUM talking about the matter. And I can tell you now, the reason why I'm telling you this is that if you are, and one thing that is disappointing, you'll never vote if you have never registered, you cannot vote. You can't, brethren. You are not going to vote. These things, you will never do them prophetic system. They need you to be practical. Now, I am urging the church right now. I'm urging the church to make such decisions. I need you to start communicating with us there. Let's talk. Wherever you are, open up your hearts. Let's talk, because I feel and I believe that once we start doing this thing, we will definitely begin to see change in our nation. It's about time for us to appoint the stewardship that will be able to take on the governments of this nation, the municipals. Now we're ready. The government of ECOFORUM is ready. Now, I did not want to talk technicalities and policies and so forth. I wanted to talk hard. Let's talk. People are talking hard. We are called small parties with great intention. And now, the reason why you will diminish people is because you know their impact. Independent candidates are called rubbish. Everybody's calling them and is rubbishing them, saying they don't know what they are doing, and all of those. You can't rubbish people who have a different intention or narrative than yours. Now, all the independent are important because these are the leaders. If you are presidential syndrome, or you are parliamentary syndrome, and you want to see yourself in parliament, you will sweat anybody. You will do anything in order to remain in parliament. But we are not interested, even if you are not in parliament. But we know that being in parliament will change matters even much greater at a verge, edge, where we are dealing with the matter, flesh to flesh. But now, even though we're not in parliament, our voice will be heard in your homes, and will make sure that development is done as we've begun. I'll be outlining a couple of projects of development that the government of ECOFORUM has outlaid, and I believe that now they are underway, and they will definitely change the lives of the ordinary people of South Africa. And I want to tell you, when you do such programs, budgetary, you need to know that it takes a heart. Because even people who have billions, they don't do it. It takes a heart. Stop criticizing us being legal. Stop criticizing us starting small. Stop criticizing the small beginnings. Start being part of it. Start being a donor. Start being a supporter. Start being one that will grow that small thing. And as long as you can identify in within it hope, then you know that you've got a party, you've got a move. And I want us to make peace, pastors. Whether you like it or not, South Africa is not led by prophecies. You will prophesy that you want to meet Ramaphosa and prophesy, I've dreamt him and so forth. If I can have a meeting with Ramaphosa, that won't change anything, brother. To the apostle, it won't change anything. What will change things is for you today to change your mind setting and begin to grasp a narrative, the last day of the end time, and not the end time, the last day of the end time. And I don't want to preach about it. You know what I'm talking about. So now you need to go back now, do a damage control. Take your family, sit with them and tell them the time is come to vote ECOFORUM. The time is come to vote a kingdom party. the ACDP, you can vote. You see, any kingdom party that is in line with the people. Now, we don't also want a kingdom party that is more in race and running a race car. No, no, no. I am not for the blessed. I am neither for the wise. I'm standing for the purpose. And this movement will stand for the purpose as long as I am the president. Because at the end of the day, it is about the purpose. It's not about the race card or the ethnicity. So we don't want such where our policies are formatted towards a certain race. No, no, no. And on the other hand, you're calling God. Now, you don't understand kingdom matters. Kingdom mandatory has to do with the weak and the strong, the black and the white, the colored and the Indian, and even the foreign nationals. Everybody's involved. We need to put white people in order to run policies that will definitely bring back the order. Now, this is my code, which I will code an open code. Say, when order marries order in a place of order, it must produce order. That's period. How order can be actually now be brought forward. But now, the order we're talking about will only come if we can begin to identify our way back to God. You see, South Africa doesn't need beautiful or in policies. It needs God. I see people not trusting God at all with anything. You are argumentative whatsoever. You are the ones who is actually taking us on a money clear on a daily basis. You thought Daniel was wasting time for the salvation of the Jews. He was wasting time for the salvation of the people of God. He was not preaching. He was not prophesying. He was interpreting. Now we need prophets who are interpreters in this time. We have prophesying. We have prophesied over this nation. But this time is to take the prophecy and make it real. And now to make it real, you need to participate. If I have to put it out there, you need to take that preaching and make it real and participate. Now I'm going to speak because you are my brothers and sisters. And I'm speaking out of love because I'm bleeding here. If you are the ones who don't understand the times we are in, I don't want to go there. I will touch Daniel and Revelation and will mess up this topic, because then will be moreover one will think, and we are not, and moreover I would say logical or professional, but I want to show you that we can be professional and moreover aligning ourselves with biblical principles and aligning the order of God in whatsoever we do, as we call the so-called professionalism. So to put it straight, my message is simple. Local government elections are very important. If you will go out of this talk and tell the people, now on your Facebook, on your WhatsApps, everywhere, start putting something there, because the LGE 2021 is vital for humanity. Something that is about to happen in this nation that you have never experienced before. And if you don't stand and fight, and this time, fortunately, we're fighting with the cross of Calvary, the finished work of Calvary. Take the same cross, take it to the ballot. Come on. I'm asking every brother and every believer, take a cross, write that cross, and put it on a ballot paper. We can do that. Imagine if 78% of those that are called Christians will take up the cross on the 1st of November and take up the cross to that voting station and take it up there and put it on the bottom. Can you imagine what's going to happen? You see, there's something God want to do. When I didn't talk to him about Africa, when I didn't tell when I didn't fire that will burn within your heart. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to carry the cross. As in tonight, tomorrow night until Sunday, you will find the president here talking to you. matters today. Don't worry. I don't want to be principled on policies. I want to talk hard. I want us to understand how to talk hard. People think people can talk. No, we can talk hard. There are things that I can say here that will say, oh, but we don't have time for that because we don't play politics. But I want us to talk hard and go to our constituencies and our children and sons and daughters. Let us redirect them back. Because they don't understand the kingdom. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter whether Ramaphosa is from Soweto and I grew up in Soweto. It doesn't matter. It doesn't help me with anything. What I need to do, those that are of the Lord. Now hear this when they ask Jesus, your brother and your mother are looking for you. Then he said, those that are with me, my brothers and mothers are them that's the will of my Father. Oh, come on, you don't hear me here. It's not all about Mkaya, this and that. It's about the will of the Father. And if you are going to stand there and allow this diabolic move, the secret movement that is now no longer secret, sailing in pharmaceutical, sailing in business and government, has taken over the judiciary, has taken over business in South Africa. If you are going to allow them a day and night, it's up to you. But I want to tell you today and warn you, we are living in the last day of the end time. We don't need we just need to go back to God. Things that are about to happen in this country, most people will not even apprehend. Now, local government elections are important because presents to us opportunity for us to choose our own local leaders that can showcase the amount of commitment in the plan they have. As we say, the government of ECOFORUM is what we call the growth plan of action. Now, the GPA 2100 is a 100-year plan, is a center, and we are cutting from it to actually now feed in the 2021, 2024, 26, 29, 31, and to make sure that the 2030 agenda doesn't actually become fruitful. To make sure that the 2030 agenda, that the dark a world has shall not be over a sin. It shall not be experienced there. The MDP whatsoever 2030 shall not come to pass. Anything that has to do against humanity will not survive what God is about to do, will not survive the fire that will burn in this country, will not survive the blood of Jesus that will be spread all over this country. I'm talking not the fire of unrest. I'm talking about the real fire of God actually burn in the hearts of the leaders, that will change the hearts of the young people, that will actually transform families, that will revive communities. And let me tell you that now revelation will be greater than revolution. Revelation shall be greater than evolution. So whatsoever revolution that was there will come from Christ. He will be the governor that revolutionizes the people of South Africa to a place where they're supposed to arrive. As it's simple, we say hashtag South Africa back to God. Now, if it's not intelligent, it's okay. But I can tell you, that's what you need in this hour. You don't need many. I can promise you much, because even if they promise you, they are in deep corruption. They can't control their own households. They can't control their own parties. Now, I am giving you something that's beyond just a political party. South Africa back to God. Now, it's an invitation to every local man predominantly even those that are in ministry in the church, everywhere where you are, the time is now. You actually have in thy hand power, cross, and put that cross on that, take the cross and put it on that ballot paper. I feel like we need to do a video of such. Do a video of somebody carrying crosses and they're going to the voting station. And when you get to the voting station, then you put the cross, come on the ballot. Every believer in South Africa, I will be making an announcement on the 30th of October and the 31st, as we are open for readiness, as a state of readiness of the party for elections. The statement that says every believer is being committed to go and carry the cross, take that cross with its blood, get into that voting station, get on the ballot paper. You have never voted, maybe, pastor. You never thought you were part of this politics, but I can tell you, you are an integral body in this politics. You were supposed to be leadership in what we are going through. We are actually the ones who have let what's going on right now to happen. We have let corruption to actually now be permeated. We have allowed this crooked and moreover leadership and however things are done to absolutely blossom as if it's the nation. We have let it be. We have allowed what this people are doing over our people. We have allowed it while we are nation. As we spoke of what we've carried, the revelation of the last day of the end time. We know what's going on. Why are you quiet? Why are you afraid? And you say that you died with Christ in through baptism and you rose with him by faith. Let your faith today, meaning moreover, save you. Come up and rise with faith. Now I am saying this. Let the fire that has actually been released at Pentecost begin to now rekindle every family, every street, and every city. Let the fire now, it won't be quenched. It's not fire of unrest, it's the fire. And let that fire begin now to quench your dryness, your hopelessness, your prayerlessness. Now you're going to grow faith right now, and the fire will be right here in the capital city. Will go to Freestad, will be in Mpumalanga, will touch Limpopo. The fire will touch Mpumalanga, will also touch the Northern Cape, will touch the Eastern Cape, will go as far as it should be until the same fire that was at Pentecost is absolutely now running in a country. That's the fire of Wosamoya. We are reiterating Nkosi Sikelele nation that said Nkosi Sikelele Africa and Nkosi Sikelele continent that said Nkosi Sikelele Africa. Then it says Wosamoya. So the spirit that we are talking about, it is the most fire. It is the spirit of creation, the spirit of peace, the spirit of love. It is the spirit that is incorruptible, that will absolutely breed an seed. The spirit we're talking about, it is the spirit of Ubuntu. It is the spirit of safety and security. It is the spirit of health. It is departmental. The same spirit is departmental, is sectoral. The same spirit is a separation of powers. It is the doctrine. The same is the doctrine of separation of power. The same spirit is judicial. The same spirit is legislation. The same spirit is executive. So now I am calling out for all sorts. ECOFORUM, just like the day of Pentecost. Let every believer now let it be a grace. Let it be a perplexion upon the land of South Africa. It has not been seen. But Sako, Tias Papa Sakaho. I mean, now, Jara se Papa, no, yes, your cross, put it on your shoulder on the 1st of November. About paper, put a cross there. And I'll tell you, South Africa will not be the same again. Now, in last, as we voted, I want you to remember that the president of ECOFORUM is also standing in the city of Tshwane, the city of the Ndebeles. Umuzi wabu manana nabu manukos. Now, city of the city of Tshwane, we're standing to make sure to make Tshwane capital again. When we do it at Tshwane, it shall be done. Moreover, in the entire country. And now we started a campaign which I believe it's going to roll even after the election of auditing. We no longer want to see any street kid in Tshwane. Firstly, Tshwane. Secondly, Johannesburg will go about and all over South Africa. Why should a child sleep on the street? And we go around telling South Africa that we care about them. No. Let's not get here now. Politics are over. Now we're going back there and we are making Tshwane capital again. Remember, Tshwane carries a territorial grace for all the states coming all over the world. Your US of A, as far as your Palestine, and moreover your Israel. So now Tshwane carries the world. It is the heart of the world, the third eminent city in the whole world, with an ambassadorial state. So now, in other words, Tshwane has the capacity to administer the world, our relationship with the world, business, investment, our foreign policies, immigration and policy. So all policies can be in Tshwane and moreover tested, moreover through bylaws in however the country should be led. So now the president, myself, will be standing in Tshwane mayoral. I'm talking to you now. Put it on your poster, put it on your cars, put it anywhere. You don't need a poster. Wherever you are, put it on your WhatsApp. Tell them 10 people, 20 people vote for ECOFORUM, even at Tshwane, vote for the president to take on the mayoral candidacy, and so that we can make Tshwane. Now let me give you something interesting. We actually are, now as we have started right now, without giving them food, we have decided to now start administering them. Now, how? I'm not going to speak names, but we are partnering with certain 2 banks in South Africa. And now, in those banks, we want this young man to have, I would say, a connection of some sort to grow them at some levels so that they can start their lives and be reinstated. So we will become a bridge, like a home affairs between them and the bank. So now to make sure that as they are on the streets, remember, most of the street kids are car parkers. Now a car parker comes in there, you park your car, and you go, and you come back, you find them there. They even want to wash your wheels and so forth. And sometimes you don't even give them a thing because you get irritated of what's happening. And now, even as a bishop, even as a pastor, you move away, you leave them there, you just give them dust and you go. It is well. But now we need to change in how this towards this. Now, I want you to understand, if you have been in town, cars were stolen. Even I remember my days when I was in university there, every second in Tshwane. And now your car could have been a stat or a statistic. But now, since this young man or old women are there to take care of your car, just because there's a human being that is sitting there taking care of your car and you are taking care of them, you're taking care of their household income and you are affecting their personal economy. Now, since they have come, crime has diminished. Now, people don't know how to fight crime. You are not time with guns and soldiers, and it's a waste of time. Africa is wasting time and money. We can fight crime through amongst ourselves in how we treat each other. You see, now we cannot actually afford to control a spirit that is a criminal, has criminal ability, until we control and personally manage ourselves. So if it's these boys and girls to manage themselves on the streets, now why will they have time to steal your money or your car or press your window? Why will they do that while they have their little car in the back? Interesting things that are happening on Friday. They can cash out and buy something nice and go home and come. Why will they have the interest to steal your burg? They will not have the interest. The more you develop them is the more you combat crime in a city. So I did not want to talk about the policies and what we have. I mean, also because these are great. I mean, not just ideas. We have done that even over the weekend. And I can tell the excitement, the smile of a young man who sleeps right under a flat right next to the door of Department of Health, next to the door of Department of Social Development. They sleep right there. They have blankets right there while there's a social development. The funds, which is now corrupted by politicians, with funds which are taken up by politicians, while our children are sleeping right at the of the departments. Now, if that's what you call politics, no, we've got a long way to go, South Africa. But I can tell you, those who are going to hear the message, they will connect to the message. Partakers, you are welcome to partner with us. You're welcome to donor, to support us. Either way, prayer, finance, either way, you're welcome. And we're saying that the project is on, and we are on, and we have taken up names, hundreds and hundreds of names, and our audit went well. The people on the street will be doing what we call it, the UIF audit with them. So we're going to do great things, not promise things that we might do great things by great administration in a city. Now, once more, now, city of Tshwane is a capital city. When the world looks at Pretoria or Tshwane, already they know the spirit of South Africa. They know how divided we are. They know how loveless we have become. They know. They know. The capital city has become the capital of thieves. We have turned our children. They've become capital of thieves. We are asking them questions here. Questions are going to be asked by the social development and the downflow of the flat where they'll be sleeping. And then the social development will reconnect this young man with his family. As they are cleaning him and draining the drug and making sure they reinstate them back to the education system. And those things can be done by our government. But now the problem is, even the mayors that are coming on board, they are busy talking about other mayors and doing nothing. They're busy fighting. You're busy fighting, and now look at what you are doing. Nothing. Nothing. You can't fool us here. You're doing nothing. Now we say, let us go there and vote and make this question and carry it across and put that cross on that ballot paper. I feel like I should drop it right here because I need you. When I invite you, it was only for an hour, but because we've got great news and as we're talking very hard, and to make sure, don't forget what we started talking about. Nobody. Hey, oh, what an arrogant leader! I want DA to mark a day. They appointed a leader. Mark it and say that was the day of our death. Nobody, not in Tshwane. We are suspending DA in Tshwane. And we are suspending DA in Johannesburg. I feel like the lady is a good lady. Paul is a good lady, but unfortunately, who are you working for? Fought tactics of a national party apartheid regime. Of a young man, an apartheid regime who comes You can't vote for small parties as if they don't matter. And he forgets that EFF was a small party in 20. And what did EFF do? Shoot them flames. Yeah, but the flame. Flame about Suabare, but Babon no Armuchi shake the Remunchemuts, the Remunchemurunam. What was Cherry Flame Mali? Hutella, fella, or fellow ANC or fella. That's what the party down in Michagamanich. I'm number 3. I requested number 2. Right now we are not syndrome. Right, closer number 2A. I requested number 2A. But I didn't know, yeah, man. ANC will agree, no leadership in the you will agree. EFF will agree. No. You can't marry ANC and then la ecta cara little man. La nyala after no. They will agree with me. That's not politics, that's the truth. But I put me spedile io spedile I feel like somebody can pay. We pay for an advert that says, we don't even talk about ECOFORUM, ANC. We just say, nobody votes for DA or for the National Party of the Democratic Party of the Alliance they got in 2004. Nobody votes for DA. And I tell you, you see, this word sounds very simple. When we pray for this party, now I am speaking a word that says they will not stand in any, they can stand in Cape Town, not Pretoria, not Johannesburg. Even in Cape Town, they will struggle. They are arrogant. That's why I was so much worried about how arrogant ANC is becoming. Mistakes. I was worried. I'm very much worried. I have not had the arrogance of Mali. Not had the arrogance. I have not. He does what he wants to do. He loves Mama Winnie, and which he did the good thing, and above all, we pay for that. How can you take away our mother and expect us to laugh? While they knew that they took her out for their own things and agenda. So we give him a hand. Where there is a good thing, you do it. You say, great thing. You don't just oppose everything because it's politics. No. Yeah, it's more fashioning too. Whether you are opposing total it's a pillar. It's really more fashioning. South Africa will never listen to people. How much time and 12 people better than so how about you? But how want that whole pension, 67 years. We are the only party who wonder. We are the only party, rightly. We are the only party. Eh? The only party. The only party where? Because we must impart and raise young people in the party who will actually take it on. Hey, this arrogance. So that I don't know. It's okay. But now still there is a DA. No vote in Swami, no vote in Johannesburg. Very arrogant. And but to come the independent thing. All of these people are important. And they are serving a certain, and they'll be serving their communities according to their capacity. So do not measure them with the money that comes from mafias and so forth. Don't measure them. Don't measure through mafianism and think your money will actually bail you out when the fire of God comes. As we close it, I want to spread the fire. Now, if you never knew the song, we're going to go together. We are spreading the fire. Just like the chain, the chain of Pentecost. Pentecost, Papa Kisango Milo, Hambo Milo, Waekofora, Asab, how they say, oh Pentecost, Pentecost, Papa Kisango Milo, Hambo Milo, Waekofora, Beswa umlilo, babonu umlilo, bakulumimpilo, kwasizwe, kwapila batu, eMzansi Afrika, yaekofora, sithi beswa umlilo, babonu umlilo, bakulumimpilo, kwasizwe, kwasinda batu, eMzansi Afrika, yaekofora, for the last time, just like the day, how the day of Pentecost, Papa Lilo, Hangomlilo, waekofora, I said, just like the day, how the day of Pentecost, Pentecost, Papa Hangomlilo, waekofora, for the last time. City Beswa umlilo, babonu umlilo, bakulumimpilo, kwasinisisizwe, kwasinda bantu, eMzansi Afrika, yaekofora, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Umlilo, waekofora, waekofora, mata, kiamurena, mata, kiamurena, mata, kiamurena, Hallelujah. What do you have in your hand? I only have a word. I don't have media. I don't own SABC. I don't own Newsroom Africa. I can't wait for ENCA. Might not happen. But what do you have? I have a message for all South Africans. The Lord is releasing fire over this nation. Repentance had to take place, but greater than all, may every one of you care and go to the pause, the cross on the ballot paper, and God bless you. Let's meet again tomorrow. Let's talk hard, and may the good Lord bless you and bless you and bless you. Thank you so much.